me over the weekend by some younger small business individuals, and I'm going to address that a little bit with one of those, just some deep thought. Gave it some thought driving back home, and wanted to share what my pick is on it. You have the youth of today who have totally lost respect for hard work, and they think the minor things that they've done are considered achievements. You look at some of the individuals who have won a ribbon and they think that's an achievement. You think they've won a best in show and they think that's an achievement. But let me give some perspective of somebody who's put a lot of hard work into the dog industry. When I went into the military to try to learn how to train dogs and training bomb dogs, drug dogs, and search and rescue dogs, my PO used to say, you know what, you haven't achieved anything until you've saved somebody's life. So my scale of what an achievement is and what a hero is totally different than some of the things that go on in today's society. So when you look at what's going on, and there was an issue that happened and somebody disrespected a winning item, and one individual had really disdain to it, and the other individual had, well, I don't really care, I'm disappointed, I'm dejected, and so therefore I'm going to do whatever I want with it. And it kind of plays to what's going on in society today. There's so many individuals that get money behind them and then all of a sudden say, I can say whatever I want, I can do whatever I want, I can do to whomever I want. And that's become the policy of the public. Well, you know what? We fight for this country as a military vet, ex-Air Force. We fight so that a person can say and do whatever they want to do in free protest, whether they take a knee on the flag or they raise a fist at the flag. We fight for a person to be able to do those things. So when a person in the media, and you have the divide and you have this versus that, well, part of the this versus that is society not respecting each other. If I work hard and I train a dog and I train a master at the master level, and a person walks in next to me who's absolutely done absolutely nothing in the world, has never trained a dog to save a life, has never trained a dog to be obedient in the household, has never trained a dog to go to a field trial and retrieve, a marked retrieve, a blind retrieve, stay steady to flush, to stay steady to wing and shot. And they take that dog in the sporting group, and example, they win the group, okay? And you look at him and go, you know what, I'm the only one that's walked in the ring with a dog that deserves that group winning position due to the mere fact of what it's achieved up to this point, or what I've achieved up to this point. So when we walk through life, the achievements of what we have do not follow us. We don't have a written resume that we get to hand out to all the exhibitors. We don't have a projected resume that says, this is where I stand in what I've achieved and done. So a lot of times we carry that information with us, and when we're not respected for that information, that's when we're condemned, or we feel condemned, or we're hurt. Okay? But the problem is individuals of minority color or more minority situation don't even get the opportunity to prove what they've done. So I was talking to this young man. I said, you know what? If you could conduct yourself as a professional, well, what does that mean? Conducting yourself that a person wants to listen to what you have to say, work with you in your behalf, respect the things that you do. So you don't have to have all kinds of accolades to be a professional, or act like a professional, or just treat people with a professional demeanor. And it's easy to jump on one bandwagon side versus another bandwagon side of how people project certain things. But the problem that we also have in our today's society is those that whine a lot or cry, those that are malicious and mean to each other, oftentimes get to do whatever they want to do because nobody wants to deal with their whining, crying, or their disdain to everybody else. So they slide through life getting all kinds of accolades and all kinds of benefits due to not doing life the right way. And then you have those others who try to do life the right way, respect people, help people wherever you can, give benefits, do whatever activity that you can help support other people, and you do that and you don't get the accolades like the next person, so it becomes discouraging. Or like my father used to tell me, you know what, no matter how hard you work, if you work harder, you can achieve the goals that you desire. Well, I come to the realization now, being over 50, that no matter how hard you work, you got to have some lucks and breaks along the way. So when you look at our youth today, we have to step back and start teaching them, you know what, you're not going to always get that blue ribbon. Mr. or Mrs. Owner, you need to not just look at your own pedigree in order to achieve the goals that you want. Young man, just because you didn't get the placement that you wanted doesn't mean that you disregard what you did, because you look at in the world today, not everybody gets the benefit of all the hard work that they put in. I made a statement to a young person recently. I said, you know what, you did not like what happened to you in your situation, but I guarantee that there's people out there that have had better dogs that they've shown, have had more time in than your particular time that you've had in lifetime, and have never achieved the goal of a group placement. Now I say that because people disregard, after they've won a little bit, they disregard the hard work that everybody else has done to get there. They disregard because of disappointment. Okay, you're disappointed. They automatically walk in assuming, from the assumption side of the world, that I deserve. Well, if you want to go by I deserve, well, as an individual, ex-military, I deserve. Okay? I fought for this country. Did you? And if you have not, you can't take the place of a vet who has. We have to respect people. The guys that came back from Nam, no respect whatsoever. None. Zero. What are we teaching our youth? I had a young man walk up to me the other day and say, thank you for my service because I had my Air Force cap on. Greatly appreciate it. And it's happening more and more, and I appreciate that. But that's a small step to the projected problem of our society. Part of the problem of our society is if you don't live it, it doesn't exist. If you haven't experienced it, it doesn't happen. So I look at an individual like one of my guys that I look up to, and I appreciate every word that comes out of his mouth, and I'm going to give his name, Stan Flowers. In my industry of the dog show world, this, and don't let me leave out, Jane Flowers. Those two individuals in our society dog show world have done by far more than any of us will ever achieve ever in the dog environment. When you look at their knowledge and what they have to offer, I said it regularly. I said it to a rep just recently that the AKC is wrong in not giving them all 7 groups at one time, best in show, and whatever assignment that they want, whenever they want it, as well as they don't have to walk away from their truck, their income, before they get an assignment. Just my opinion. But that's a prime example where society and those that are in power that have not achieved the goals of hard work and hard tasks are dictating what everyone else should do. Now, so what are we teaching our youth? That it's not important to have any respect whatsoever for time in, hard work, and respecting our elders. That's what we're teaching. You look at the sports. You look at team. You know, if you look at just the working together of people in public. I go to a show, and I'm going to use the show vernacular because a lot of my friends that are probably watch this are from the dog show world, but a lot of them are not, and then we're going to have some other discussions, some other materials later on in the show, or shows to come, episodes to come. Hopefully we'll get some write-in, some new information and what people want me to cover, and I will be more happy to do so. Following up, I'll give you my credentials of stuff or where to send the information in. But back to my point of why is it that there is no need or drive to improve this? No matter how hard I try to be positive, to educate the youth, to say respect your parents, to do the things that are right, to maintain good grades, do right in school, you know, and trying to encompass what I've learned the hard way to pass it on to somebody else so that they have access to it. I do this because I think it needs to be done. I listened to a guy on the radio spout off at the mouth about how this and that and that and the other thing, and I always say, well, put your money where your mouth is, so that's what I'm doing. So we're chatting with Coop. We're going to find out a few details here and there. We're going to live life through my eyes from time to time because there's nobody else doing it the way I do. You don't look at any talk shows. You don't look at any presentations. You know, Oprah got close, but hopefully maybe I'll get some guests in. That'd be fun. You know, do some interviews and do some just day-to-day, just life, true stories, just people from the real world telling us how to survive in the real world. You know, because money doesn't make you smart. You see a lot of people that get money get a platform. So I think part of our loss of respect in our industries, the dog show world, is due to the fact that those that get money get a platform. Those that don't have money but have intelligence, have work ethic, have durability, who plain old out there doing the job day to day, cleaning up the dog poop, the due diligence, don't always get the recognition that they truly deserve. Now you watch a lineup of things, and you watch people that butter judges up and those types of things and are doing life wrong and cry, whine, throw temper tantrums, say that judge should be shot, that kind of craziness. I myself included get disinvolved or discouraged when I don't win because I don't go in to lose. But as I sit back and I stand ringside and I watch and I listen to information on how people get pigeonholed to what they're looking at, and you ask the question, why did that judge put up that limping dog? Why is that dog lacking in so much head? Why is it missing shoulder layback? Why are these details being lost? Because a lot of times they've lost track. If you look at what's being brought to them, it's not their fault. People go, well, it's the judges who are picking these animals. And I'm getting off on a total different tangent on where I thought this was going to go today, but it's not the judges' fault in what they pick. They pick what's in front of them. Now, their guideline is the standard. That's an written documentation that's in their subconscious. Now, when the breeders bring them the animals, what they have in front of them is what they have to pick and choose what goes by the guideline. So unless the breeders bring better animals, the judges won't see them. So if a person wins or loses, then when a person wins, you have a lot of individuals who will chase that winning dog for their breeding program. Does it make it right? On the average, no. Because what happens is people do not understand the difference between phenotype and genotype. There's a lot of old-time breeders who have never mentored anyone, and so that information has been lost, who knows how to outcross, knows where to go to bring into their breeding program, knows what to do with their breeding program to keep eliminating problems from showing up in their breeding program. But they're not being used. They're not being sought after. Their information is not being asked for or taken. You have the newer breeders who are coming out, and they might get lucky with a nice dog. They breed it. They run around the country promoting and pushing a dog. But the dog has had some major wins, but it loses more against other dogs of the same caliber, at same age and same breed, because it doesn't fully match the standard. Now, the game of handling is a game of attrition. And a game of attrition means that the longer you're in, the better you'll do. There's a handling team now that's out there that I have the utmost respect for. You see them working their dogs every day. You see them grooming their animals every day. Time in. You see them biking their dogs. Time in. You see the team working together. You see the team going out to eat. You see the animals being cared for. You see the box truck open with the fans on. Time in. You see the communication. Time in. You see them taking care of each other. Time in. You don't see them when they lose, where they think they're going to win. You don't see them crumple up the ribbons and throw them away. Regardless if it's a group 2, 3, 4. You never see them throw them away. You see them displayed with honor, because some judge gave them the honor of having that placement. Because in some shows, you have 200 or 300 dogs there in that breed category. And every single one of those animals, those owners, those peoples, those handlers, those little kids, those friends of the family would have died and wanted to have that ribbon. And why do they want that ribbon? Because of the time that they invest away from their family or with their family, the time that they work to get to the show. For example, sitting around talking to one of the superintendents, and we sat in just general discussion dollars. General discussion dollars. What a person invests to go to a dog show. So part of this will tell you it's cheaper to send your dog off with a professional handler than it is to take your dog yourself. But we sat down and we talked about a lady that walked up to the table and she was complaining about how much money she spent for showing a dog. Now picture, if you will, you go to the average dog show. Let's say it's just a 2-day dog show. A 2-day dog show for an owner to take their dog. Now, why this ribbon is so important. The owner goes, they leave on Friday. Maybe they leave early from work on Friday, so they miss a half day work. And I'm just going to use round numbers. They get paid $10 an hour half day, so that's $40. Okay, now I'm going to write this down so I don't forget. So that's $40. Okay, now they go to the 2-day show. Well, they drive there. Say it's 3 hours away. They pay $100 in gas. They got a car, gets great gas mileage. Now, they have bought a dog crate. So let's say that they have that dog crate, and let's put a dollar figure on the wear and tear of that dog crate. So let's say that dog crate that they bought it originally, it was $100, but let's say it's $5 a show. That the cost of having that piece of equipment. Now they get there, they're at $145 it cost them to start out. We basically just got to the show. They have 2 days of hotel costs. Okay? Now let's go down and say the hotel cost them $60 a day for 2 days. It's $120. Okay? They buy some bait for that 2-day show, another $10. Now, they eat. They didn't eat at Subway, but they eat. So it cost them, you know, and say they ate 3 meals. So I'm going to say they ate $50 in food. Okay? They're at the show. They're 2 days. Well, they have clothes, right? I'm going to grab my calculator because they have clothes, correct? So let's itemize their clothes, do the depreciation of their clothes, so that people actually understand from the business standpoint what they're doing when they don't hire a handler. And why that ribbon is so important. Okay? Now, we've had food, we have clothes. Let's do the depreciation on your clothes. Let's say that's another $10. Okay. Now, one of the calculations that a person does not pay attention to is their own personal time. Now, if you think about it, this is more important than all the other stuff that you do, because people, when they go to a dog show, they miss family events, they miss weddings, they miss graduations, they miss football games, they miss just normal day-to-day stuff. And by missing those things, it's a cost. It's a cost. But so let's take a look at the cost. 2 days, 2 full days, your ring time starts at 8 o'clock, your group time doesn't start till 5, you're not done with dog chores till 8, so yeah, let's say 10 hours. 10 hours in your normal workday, you get paid $10 an hour. Now I'm just using $10 an hour because it's easy math for you to, as you're sitting there writing this down. $10 an hour for 10 hours. Got another $100. That's the first day. Now Sunday, another $100. Now you drive home. Okay? You've already calculated your gas, but you haven't calculated your time. So let's look at the time to drive home. Say you're 3 hours away from home. Easy show, so 3 hours down, 3 hours back, $60. Okay? So you tell me. You tell me. But then you look at the other side of the coin where people want to go an inexpensive route and they send their dog with a handler. They'll send them with a group of people that undercut all the other handlers. Well, you get what you pay for. It is the only industry where a non-professional or non-acting professional or non-educated professional or non-time in and non-service time in professional can compete directly against the professional. Part of the difficulty is you watch the ring where you have a person who shows up ringside who has 10 or 12, no, I shouldn't say go that high, even 3 or 4 of their own breed that they bring to the show, and they're an owner, okay, or a breeder, and it's a cluster mess. The ring steward's calling them multiple times, and they don't have their armbands, they're confused, they don't know what to do. That's a non-professional. Okay? But when you look at the dollars and cents, and I'm doing the quick calculations of the total, is why that dollar value is so important to that professional or non-professional. So you're looking at on the light side, the average person, and they don't sit down and calculate it or look at it or think about it, it costs them $595 to go to a dog show for one weekend. $595. And if you're not calculating that, you should be. You should be. But that's why you look at the disdain or the reasoning why that ribbon has that importance. because of the investment dollars. So even if they don't get that ribbon, or they don't get the major, they don't get the points, they don't get the blue ribbon, they don't get the group 4, they don't get the group 3, they don't get the group 2, they don't get the group 1, they still have that $595 worth of investment to get there. And then along the way, if they don't get some kind of accolade along the way, there's huge discouragement. So you look at society now and why the certain things kids and youth are not going into. They're not going into some of the sports because they require too much work. They're not going into some of the jobs and some of the career fields because they require too much work. The problem that it is my problem. We fail to teach our kids how to work, and that they're not going to get the blue ribbon, and that life is going to be hard and difficult. And I think the part of that reason is because we wanted to teach our young kids that we wanted our kids to have it easier than what we've had. But life is not easier than what we have. Life remains the same hardness, but we put a lot of benefit along the way. We get the flat screen TV. We get the car that has air conditioning. We have the car that has better gas mileage. We have better snow tires. We have power steering. We have grooming blowers. We have blow dryers. We have better combs. We have better brushes. We have better techniques. We learn a lot of different things to do, but there's one thing that remains the same. We all have to learn. We all have to teach each other. And dogs and dog behavior remain the same. So let me recap. I think we need to do a better job of working with each other and teaching each other and respecting all the knowledge that's out there. I think we need to do a better job of getting individuals in positions of education, positions of power, positions of dictating, better educated to how to pass information on to people. Not meaning that they're experts, not meaning that they're the best, meaning that we need people that have better skill. We also need to do a better job of not looking for those that have money as our experts, because the ones that have money not oftentimes know how to do it. And if they have come with old money, just because they get a speaking platform doesn't mean that they're worthy of the platform. So to the youth and the younger individuals than I that have the skirmish about respecting the job, the professionalism of the job, and disrespecting your win, I say this to you both. You both need to sit down and talk to each other about how to be respectful. We all need to sit down and talk to each other about how to be professional, whether you are an owner, a breeder, a bred by. We all need to do it. Because it crosses every business line on how to respect and work with people. It encompasses the world. If you look at the dog show world, it's a cross-section of people. It's a cross-section of our society. It's a cross-section of the world. My business at Big D's Dog Training is to help people work with a non-communicating entity and teach that entity how to understand the communication line from their standpoint. So today we're talking about how to understand what we're teaching. Teaching professionalism, teaching respect. Now I'm going to sum up with this. Part of my goal in chatting with Cooper is to take information that I see in the public, turn it around, give some positive ideas to it, and try to work out details. Another part of the reason why I'm doing the new video section of this show is because I want to reach out, show my family, give them stuff to fall back on, reach out to my girls, tell them that I love them. May not ever see them, but tell them that I love them. And be a better person from the information that I learn, to be a better person each and every day that I pass on to every single person out there, to be a better person. And if I can do that, I win in every scenario. My son wins. My daughters win. People of the public win. Because part of what we're failing to do as a society and as a group is take anger, attitude, and ignorance and turn it into education, understanding, and bringing those who don't know, who have never experienced and who do not understand, into the realm of, just because you have the freedom to do whatever you want to do and have always had the freedom to do everything that you've always wanted to do does not make it right. And the only thing that we and I want is equal opportunity to say and do the things like everybody else. So to the individuals, again, who because of having the ability to do whatever you want, say whatever you want, throw things away that everybody else would hold dear to their heart, spout off, I don't care what you think about me, I don't care what you think about me, but you do care what somebody thinks about you. You should care about what others think about you. It doesn't mean that you have to adjust yourself accordingly to it, but you want a person to